Today we are going to see the building blocks of algorithm. In the building blocks of algorithm, it contains a statement, state, control flow, and the functions. There is nothing but the step-by-step procedure only to find out the algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but is a finite number of steps that is clearly described, and the steps can be systematically followed to produce the desired result for to give a input in a finite amount of time. And there are building blocks of algorithm. In content we have a sequence, selections, and iterations. Sequence is nothing but it is an action, and the selection is nothing but we want to take a decision for a sequence action, and the iteration is nothing but it is a repetitions or loop that which contains in the C programming. And let me move for a sequence. Sequence is nothing but is one of the basic logic structure in computer programming. In sequence structure, we do a actions or a event, then it's moved to the next ordered action in a predetermined order. And the sequence can contain a many number of actions, but no actions can be skipped in the sequence. Once we can run the sequence, the program must perform each action in order without skipping anything. And selections and iterations. Selection is nothing but it is a decisions which we take a basic logic structure in a computer programming. In a selection structure, there is a question is asked, and depending on the answer, the program takes two course of actions. After that, the program moves to the next event. These the things contained in the selections. Let me move for iteration. Iteration is nothing but a single pass through a group or set of instructions. Most programs often contains loops of instructions that are executed over and over again. The computer repeatedly executes a loop, iterating through the loop. Let me see how the sequence, selections, and looping can occur by using a diagram. First, we give a sequence. We give the first instruction. First instruction is completed, we move for another instruction. Like that, we move for the sequence way. But in the selections, we select the choice. It is true means it's move for the first instruction, or it false means move for the second instruction. Like that, we want to select. And looping is nothing but it's a choice. It's move for instructions. If the instruction is not there means again move for a looping. That is again move for a choice. If it is okay, the loop will be end. Let me see the example of algorithm by adding two numbers entered by the user. First we start and declare the variables num1 and num2 and take as a sum. Then read the values of num1 and num2. Then move for addition part. It takes sum is equal to num1 plus num2 and then assign the result to sum. Next it going to display the value, that is a sum. At last it completed, then it move for a stop. And another example we see largest among the three different numbers entered by the user. First we start the program and to declare the variable ABC, because we take three different numbers, so we declare the variables as three numbers A, B, C. Then read the variables of A, B, C. Then move for then we check A is greater than B or A is greater than C. If it is A is greater than B and C, display A is the largest number. But it is less than B and C, it's move for else part. Display C is the largest number. C is also less means we check B is greater than C. Then display B is the largest number, else display C is the greatest number. At last we move for steps as stop. Next we move for a pseudocode. Pseudocode is nothing but is a false statement, that is a false program. It is a detailed yet readable descriptions for a computer program. It is sometimes used as a detailed step in the process of developing a program. We want to develop a program by using a pseudocode. It is easy for the programmer to run a program. We take an example as a compute the area of a rectangle. In this get the length, it is a pseudocode source code that L and width W. Some keywords are occurs in the pseudocode, like example read, compute, display, get the length, like that. There's some examples are there. Then iteration. In iteration, it is an act of repeating a process either to generate an unbounded sequence or with the aim to approach a desired goal or target or result. Each repetition of the process is called an iteration, and the results of one iteration are used as a starting point for the next iteration. In iteration's example is, first we take a is equal to 0 for I from 1 to 3. 1 to 3 means we want to loop 3 times. If it is loop means it's move for a is equal to a plus I. That I is increment. Then we want to print the a statement. Then we move for a recursion. In recursion, the process in which a function calls itself directly or indirectly is called a recursion, and the corresponding function is called a recursive functions. By using a recursive algorithm, we take a certain problems can be solved easily. Some examples are Towers of Hanoi. Towers of Hanoi is nothing but in order, pre-order, post-order. Like that, we want to use these of the examples for recursion. Some examples for recursion is, first we give a fact of integer n. In that we check n is less than or equal to 1. We take it, this is a base case. If n is less than or equal to 1, then we move for return 1. Otherwise, we take else statement, return n star fact into n minus 1. Next, let me check test the assessment. You want to do next class of what is algorithm, why we use the algorithm. In this algorithm, we do the building blocks of algorithm. And in this algorithm, what are the building blocks of algorithms are there, what are the types are there, why we use the sequence, iterations, like that. And in notations, we write a flowchart, pseudocode and programming language. For also, you check whether all the things are useful for a computer language, that is a C programming language. Then another you want to do, write algorithm for finding the greatest of 3 numbers. You want to write it and do.